Taurus, hello and welcome, or welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and we are doing February readings today. I've got the Star Seeker Tarot, which is a deck I got off of Etsy. This is the pocket-sized edition. She also sells, a more conventionally sized version, but I like to get the pocket sized whenever it's offered, just because it's kind of easier to shuffle. And before I shuffle, let me remind you that this is a general reading for a general Taurus audience. So it might really resonate with you. It might resonate with you a little bit or a little bit later. So take what resonates and leave the rest for another Taurus. I invite you to check out all the videos for your important placements. So that would include your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck, but if you've been here before, you know I fast forward the video through the shuffling and get right to the laying out of the cards to get into your reading. So I will catch up with you as I'm laying out the cards for you. See you there. Okay, Taurus, let's see. Six of Swords, Four of Wands, Seven of Cups, and the Emperor. Okay. Okay. So the Emperor is a pretty steady energy to be starting with in February. You may have some plans, some vision. Maybe you started the new year with substantial goals for this year, and you're starting to implement them, outsourcing the bits that you can outsource, and putting in motion the things that you can do. The Emperor is, the sort of architect of the tarot, and this character has big plans. He just using male pronouns because it's traditionally, male character, but this character represents you no matter what your gender is. He has these big visions. He's like not just a builder of a house, but a builder of a city, of a civilization. So that represents you and kind of like big plans for the year, for your future. And this character doesn't just have the vision, but he's also the boss. So he gives people jobs to do, outsourcing the work and overseeing the work and making sure everything gets done perfectly. So there's this element of putting things in motion. Even if you aren't doing any of the building or doing any of the work yourself, there's this element of making phone calls or ordering whatever you need online, or if it's prepping for a wedding or a travel or buying a house, whatever you're planning for in the next year, you're starting to build those steps, putting those plans in place, gathering probably even doing like those timelines and, like, this isn't true for every Taurian, but there are those websites that help you with timelines and all the steps you need, so you can start putting together your timeline of when you need to do this and when you need to do that. You might be in that place where you're putting together timelines of when you need to do what for whatever your project is or whatever your plan is. Or you may be less specific about it, but you might be, giving your kids tasks to do or something like that. But this particular character it definitely has goals that they're working towards. And we see in the next card here, in the Six of Swords, which is a card of moving away from sort of chaos and confusion and maybe a time of friction, either at work or possibly at home, maybe with coworkers or with family members. It can come, this card can come up when you are leaving a tricky work situation, maybe moving on to a different department, or different working hours that are more amenable to your work-home balance, or leaving a role that wasn't well suited to you, or a department that maybe it just didn't have great leadership, something like that. Or it could be the kind of situation where you're moving on from a family situation, like a separation, a divorce. It could even be the sort of thing where you're leaving a tricky roommate situation. But in any case, this typically indicates a time when you're moving away from a lot of like disinformation, maybe fights and friction and that sort of thing, to more calm, more clarity, like literal clarity in communication, having more sort of peace in the home, more direct communications, where like you feel heard, where you understand who you're talking to. So if the friction previously had been with coworker colleagues or a partner, the communication snafus become untangled or no longer exist. So it could be that the Emperor was planning a move. If you're moving to a new home, like if the chaos was related to a living situation, that could be what the Emperor was planning, or kind of coordinating the move and the decorating and that sort of thing could very much be what the Emperor is working on. But he's also, and again, just out of habit, no matter your gender, it's about kind of getting back into sort of being in control of your environment, being the designer and the visionary of your own environment, when perhaps previously there was too much chaos. And moving away from that allows you to feel more sort of back in control of your environment. In the top card here, we have the Four of Wands, which is an absolutely beautiful card. It tends to be about celebrations. It can come up for any sort of party or celebration, like an engagement party, a wedding, a graduation. It tends to be a sort of celebration of a milestone, like an achievement or a life milestone. So like I said, a graduation, engagement. But it could also be something like, if you're in a play, this could be opening night, or if you're, say, an artist and you're giving a show. I don't know what they're called, but you do one of those art shows, and you open the show. It could be one of those, something like that. But there's some sort of achievement, a celebration, and typically your friends, your family would be there to celebrate your milestone, your achievement, something like that. It could be you celebrating a very dear one, like a daughter or your best friend, but it's more likely to be your achievement or your milestone. It could be the thing that you're planning here, that the Emperor is planning this party, but it's definitely a positive occasion and a happy celebration, a victory, a milestone of some kind. It's interesting that the Seven of Cups follows it, because the Seven of Cups tends to be a card that indicates a sort of feeling of a vague feeling of confusion or directionless. It's not necessarily a scary feeling or a bad feeling. It's that kind of feeling where you kind of know you need to do something or you need to make a change, but you don't necessarily know which way to go. Sometimes it's having too many options to choose from. And sometimes this comes up like when you're on a dating website and there's a lot of people that maybe you think are cute and you just kind of don't, you think you might have too many options and you don't know which way to go. But then, when that tends to happen, if you go, I apologize if you can hear, there's some yelling in my neighborhood, so I apologize if that's being picked up on the microphone. There's some crazy person in the neighborhood that's doing some yelling, so I apologize. But in the Seven of Cups, what often happens is it seems like you have more options than are really a right fit for you. So there's this kind of inherent advice with the Seven of Cups that, it's okay to explore different options. You'll probably find as you try things out that maybe one or two things aren't right for you. Sometimes with the Seven of Cups, we fear trying one or two options out of our own sense of insecurity or confusion, or maybe not being curious, but not too attached. What's right for you will stay. You won't miss out on the right thing. Let's put it that way. Let's see if we can get this card in focus. I apologize in advance because this camera takes a minute to, there we go, okay. So as you can see in this artwork, there's a bunch of floating cups here around her, but there's only the one white pure one, right? So if you want to take a look at all those other cups, you can, but that's just kind of a FOMO moment, right? A fear of missing out. There's really only one that's right for her or this character. So, I mean, it's interesting because this Emperor is so strong, and the Six of Swords is very much about being clear-minded and focused and getting away from this other kind of chaos. And this Four of Wands is a very is a milestone moment. It could just be that after this very clear and focused thing, you might have well, what next? The thing about the Seven of Cups is the sort of indecision comes from the fact that none of the cups that are like in front of the central character are what she wants. She's still kind of waiting for that thing that really, really excites her. That's that missing cup. On the artwork and the card that we have here, that cup is missing. So really what happens at the end of the month is kind of a moment of indecision. And that's simply because despite the clarity and the milestone moment, there's kind of a denouement at the end of the month where there isn't something as wonderful or as exciting to kind of grasp onto. It's like you're waiting for the next exciting thing and it hasn't yet materialized. That's still to be determined. It doesn't mean it isn't coming. It's just not the next amazing thing is coming, later in the spring. But here's your February. We've got the great planner. We've got moving away from troubled waters with clarity and vision. We've got the milestone, the celebration, the victory party. And we have this sort of moment of indecision, waiting for the next big thing. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for dropping by. I hope you liked your reading. If you did, I invite you to leave a like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. In any case, until next time, take good care. Bye for now.